and welcome to Between Friends. I am Ashley Jones, and I'm your host for today. And I'm excited to be here with you. I have a fun project that I'm going to show you that I created that is perfect for your holiday gift giving. So while we're waiting on everyone to join, please tell me over in the chat where you're watching from. And then also tell me if you are done with your holiday stitching, or if you still have stuff that you're working on. Also, tell us what you're working on. I always love to hear that as well. So we've got people joining from all over, so we'll give some time for everybody to jump in. And so let's say hi to everyone. So Joan Schreiber says hello from sunny Kansas City. And she said, is it really December already? I know, Joan, I can't believe it. Where does the time go? And so thanks so much for joining. Jennifer, good to see you here from Northwest Tennessee. And Jay Bodnar from Portugal. Thanks for joining. So we have Jen's Sewing Room from Dallas. That is right there by our home office. So good to see you. And we've got Star. Thanks for joining, Star from Michigan. Good to see everyone. Creative Appliques. So that's Dawn. You guys know her over at Creative Appliques as well. So hi, Lisa Ballard. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. San Antonio, Texas in the house. So Cherry, thanks for being here. So good to see everyone. And I tell you, I've still got a lot of holiday stitching left to do. I feel like I always have these grand ideas. And then as time goes on, I run out of time and have trouble finishing all of my grand ideas. So tell me if you have that same problem as I do. So hi, Paula. Thanks for joining. Good to see you here. And also Joanne Banco from Let's Go Sew. We love having you here. Thanks for joining. Northwest Alabama, or Northeast Alabama. Thanks for joining. Heather, also from Reno. So good to see everyone. Okay, so today we're going to talk about making an in the hoop gift bag. Now, I have a design that I'm going to be using that I'll share with you, but I'm also going to give you some tips for embellishing these bags. These are actually a design collection that has a different design on them, so I'm going to show how I edited this and then change the design, but then also I'm going to show you some of my favorite things that would be cute to go in these gift bags for maybe a gift idea for your bestie. So do you guys exchange gift with your sewing bestie? I know that I do. I love sharing my love of sewing and embroidery. And so it's always nice to give somebody just a little something. And I've got some of my favorite dime things that would be perfect to stuff in these little gift bags that you see here. Now, my idea with these gift bags is there are tons of in the hoop projects out there. Sometimes in the hoop can take some time, even though it's run stitches, you know, with the stitching and the flipping. This particular bag is so quick. It is definitely something that didn't slow me down. I could hoop my fabric and then it just stitches the outline really quickly. And so that's what I was going for because I know that sometimes the packaging we don't want to spend as much time stitching, especially if we've created a nice, fun gift. So these little bags that I'm going to be showing you today, but we're also going to be talking about embellishing them, which you certainly can use on a different product, or if you maybe have a bag that you already have the design for that you want to use, you certainly can add embellishments with what we're talking about today. And so the design that I am actually going to be using is one of our Stitch Swag collections. So this is again, it's a very fast stitching design because you actually have this stitch through all your layers at one time, and it stitches flat, and then you assemble it either with some fusible web or fabric glue to finish the final bag. It does have a boxed bottom. And so I just turned this cute little design into something that I wanted to embellish with holiday design. So, and you certainly could personalize it as well. But again, it does have raw edges, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. But then it stitches really quickly. So, you know, that might be a trade off. If you want a bag that's 100% finished in the hoop, you might choose to spend a little more time stitching for that finished look. But I really just wanted something that was quick. And plus, I've got some tips. It's going to look great anyway, even with those edges that are not finished or tucked inside the bag. So let me head over. I'm going to show you the design first. You guys know me. I am a software junkie. I love everything software. So let me show you what I did to the bag first in our software. And I actually created one of them as a personalized letter, but then you can also add other designs as well. So I'm just going to open up a new page. So the stitch swag that I'm using is called our charm bags, and it has 3 different bag embellishments, but there are 4 different sizes of each one. So really it just depends on what you want. Now, I did not want the embellishment that was on here. I wanted to add my own for the holidays. So now this one is a really cute one, and I'm actually going to flip it around. I'm going to rotate it just so it fills my screen a little bit better. I think it's easier to see. And let's zoom in there. Now it has this little shape that you could easily put a monogram. You could use a holiday fabric and then you're done. Of course, I don't do anything the easy way. So I wanted to do a little bit more embellishment. And so I got rid of this by ungrouping and then just deleting. But I'm also going to show you guys today how I used a bunch of fabric scraps to fill in an applique design. So I also needed to add a little bit more detail. So I put an applique letter here. So I'm going to do a file and import true type text. And then I'm using the letter B for my personalized. And then from the drop down list here, I just chose the style font that I want, and it adds it to the screen there. And so there's my B, nice and big, and I like that, nice and bold. So I turned this into an applique design in my Perfect Embroidery Pro. Down here to the bottom right, I can just click one time and it's an applique. It's going to give me a placement and a tack down. But I still wanted these bags to stitch quickly. So I wanted this to not be a full satin. So under my applique settings here, I changed it from a satin to an E-stitch. E-stitch is what we call the stitch that looks like the blanket stitch that you might do on your sewing machine. I wanted this because I was going for, let's get this stitched quickly. And so I wanted those to line up. You can see that not everything lines up because we've got that offset. So I'm going to change the inset to 100 and the tack down offset to 0. And when I apply those, you can see that everything lines up. Now I'm going to make this even bigger because, hey, bigger, better, right? And now look at my blanket stitch. If I shorten that up, the applique width, it'll give me just a little smaller stitch. But notice that it's stitching on the wrong side of my openings of my letter B. And so if I click on, whoops, wrong one, over here, my properties, the adjust holes, you can watch those flip out the opposite direction. Okay, so that's a really easy way to do a monogram that's going to stitch quickly. And of course, you can fill that with any of your beautiful fabrics, right? I did take it a step further. Let me ungroup this or break up this applique here. So you can see that I've got my applique type. I'm actually going to do break up and choose the run stitch placement and then the run stitch tack down. I'm going to make that a different color, and just by selecting a different color on my color chip here. And then I actually chose that run stitch and I filled it with a motif stitch. So I'm going to show you how to create the patchwork under your letter. And if you do this, I do recommend something like this to tack it all down. Have you guys ever done collage quilting where you're putting all those different shapes that you cut out? So that's kind of what I did here with my letter. And so if we watch this stitch out, it's actually going to stitch the all of the shape of the bag flat, and then it's going to do my placement and then the tack down, and then I can put my fabric and it's going to stitch over it to hold all of my fabric scraps together, and then come back and do that blanket stitch around the edge. Now, I really don't need that blanket stitch with that fill stitch, but hey, I like the look of it, so I'll just leave it. Now, this design, I just saved it and I took that to my embroidery machine. So here's what it looks like stitching out. So now to make this bag, I hooped a piece of heavyweight tearaway or cutaway stabilizer. The heavyweight cutaway stabilizer is really stiff. And so in between my two pieces of quilting cotton, it made my bag rigid enough to stand up on its own. So I just was trying to use things that I have already at home. You can see that I put that fabric on the back of my hoop, the stabilizer, and then the fabric in the top. And here it's literally just stitching that outline of the bag. So really easy and super quick too. So it's just run stitches. So now it's stitching the placement stitch of the letter B. And now that fabric is super busy. So it's hard to see, but now it's tacking down that letter B. Look at my fabric there. So I just wanted something that looked like patchwork. I got a bunch of really small scraps and used those as my applique fabric. And so, and here I'm just trimming away the excess. And because this is raw edge, it's really done. I've already stitched that outline stitch, trimmed away the excess. There's no satin stitch. So it's really done and really ready to go. The only thing that I did do separately is I added some little eyelets at the top there to be able to stitch those and put some ribbon through. Now I used heavyweight cutaway. Now you might already have this at home, but I just needed something to really stiffen my fabric. So that was something I already had on hand. I also prepped my fabric with this Sullivan's fabric stabilizer. This is a spray-in stabilizer that really stiffens your fabric. And I'll show you the difference in one that has this versus not. And then I used that design collection there. So just in case you had any questions. So let me head here under my camera and I'll show you what I did. So here are two. Now I've got some that I have already created. So here's one with the little rhinestones on it. And I'm going to show you how I added those. So just my green tree, and I did that blanket stitch around the edge because I wanted to stitch quickly. And I'm going to show you how to put these on. Now, I'm going to be using my Perfect View magnifier light here. And I use this tool. This is actually one of my favorite dime products because it is so difficult to see sometimes those tiny little rhinestones, but it's also sometimes hard to see when you are have thread the same color as your fabric. Now, this one here, I used glitter HTV. And then you could see the green of my my little wreath there. I also did that patchwork kind of effect. So isn't that cute? So I just love that. And that sparkly HTV gave me a beautiful shimmer, and it doesn't fray. And so for my edge of my bag, I just trim that with a decorative wave rotary cutter to make that kind of wavy edge at the top, and then fold it under, and then just put this all together with adhesive, fabric adhesive, and it's going to hold everything together, and you've got that cute little gift bag. So now these two here, look at the size difference. So I've got, this is kind of the medium size, and then I've got a smaller one. This actually fit in my 5x7 hoop. I just did fabric here, but I did embellish with some crystals there to add a little sparkle. But that print on that fabric really didn't need any additional embellishment. So this stitched super quick. And then you can go larger too. So I'll show you this one once I move my light. This actually fit in my 8x14 hoop. This is about the size of like a popcorn box that we used to get at the theater. Now it's a giant bucket, but this is a little bit close to that size. And you can see I embellished with those crystals. If I move under the light, you might can see, or under the lamp, you might be able to see those a little bit better. So I just put some crystals in that diagonal fabric there just to give it a little bit of sparkle, right? Okay, so here, this is my magnifier lamp. We call it our Perfect Vision magnifier lamp, and I have this attached to my hooping station here. It just clamps to your table. But the reason I'm using this is because when I stitched this, I stitched black thread on this fabric because I wanted it to blend really nicely. And so when I need to cut these little slits, I can hardly even see them. The same thing when I was trimming my patchwork around my applique here. This actually is really helpful to be able to see that close up. So I need to cut these slits to form my bag. So you can see that I've trimmed away the excess. I'm going to pull this outside here. You can see that wavy edge there. I have a just a rotary blade that makes that. So I just cut that off and then everything else with a straight blade. So now you're just going to clip into these seams. Now this one is a little box that I need to cut out just like that to make my bottom. And then you just clip right in here. So you want to clip between those stitches, and that's where this light really is helpful because like I said, black fabric. Well, here, let's flip over to the other side. This actually may be even better. There we go. Still black on black, but definitely easier to see without the print. So I'm just snipping into those grooves. So it stitches, so it'll hold them all together. So I've got all of those stitched. And that's what's going to form the bottom of our bag. Now, you can see the back. This is going to be the inside of the bag. Let me move outside of my light here. You can see all my tie-offs. You can trim those and make that look a lot nicer. I just haven't done that yet. Okay, so and then I'll show you how to fold all of that up, and we'll do our adhesive on there as well. And now here's another one. So I love this plaid. Isn't that cute? And so I actually was going to add some crystals on here. And now we have these assorted rhinestones that you can purchase. And these are hot fix crystals. So when you apply heat, they bond to your fabric there. So I just sprinkled a few different colors. And now I store mine. Look at this. I'm at the age where I've got extra pill bottles laying around everywhere. And so I just put them in an old pill bottle, and then I use a label that tells me what color and what size so I can keep track of it. And then when I need to use a few, you can see here that I can just sprinkle some in the lid to be able to apply them. So now I actually have some markings. So on my tree here, I have some markings that I actually created in my software to remind me where I wanted to put these little crystals. But this light, not only the light, but the magnifier is really helpful in getting these perfectly placed. So I just have a few different colors here that I am going to place. So that assorted pack has red, orange, like a gold color, like a topaz, and green and blue. And so I'm using almost every one of those colors here, just a few of them. And again, these are hot fix, so we're going to fuse those down. So. And now I'm on my hooping station here, which is wood and can take the heat. And I've got my little iron ready to go. And as you can see, I'm using these tweezers, which really make it easy to lift these little stones too. So I'm just going to place a couple more. I just need looks like 2 more. And so here we'll do another red one that shows up really well on the green there. So isn't that cute? That reflection, or that you can see there. And then let's see what else we've got here. Maybe one more gold looking one. And then I just need to iron these down. So I am going to, whoops. slippery little sucker. Place that just like that. Okay. And so this actually, like I said, is really helpful. Also, on this one, the red on red, let me slide this just forward a little bit. So for trimming my little openings here, even the red on red is a little challenging to see. And so it really makes it easier with our magnifying light here. Okay. So now let's fuse these down. So I'm going to get my extras out of the way before I knock them over. And then I'm going to just move my light out of the way. It is a flexible arm. And I'm going to put my wool press pad under this. So if something slides, we will adjust it. So this is my wool press pad for my hooping station. And then I'm going to cover that with a pressing sheet. And now I like to take my pressing sheet and cut it down into smaller pieces. Sometimes, you know, if I'm working with something small, not dealing with that big iron. And then I'm just using my craft iron here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm covering all of them. And I'm just going to hold it here for 25 seconds. So I've got it on a high heat and 25 seconds. So that will bond those to my fabric underneath. Now, my little Christmas tree that's on my gift bag, I used an HTV for the fabric. So as I'm bonding these crystals, it's also bonding that HTV as well. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And how adorable is that? I mean, you don't get much cuter than that, right? I love that. And so just really easy to do and fun. I really enjoyed working with those crystals there. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to answer those. So I'm just going to trim this one as well. So this corner piece here, and then just trim into that between those stitches there. That's going to allow us to fold that boxed bottom. And then I'll show you how I glue that all together. So isn't that cool? I see that Sandra says I would have knocked it all on the floor. Trust me, Sandra, it is sometimes a struggle too, for sure. So, and then Marianne says, oh, Ashley, you are too young to have those pill bottles. Hey, you'd be surprised at how early I think that, you know, you start taking supplements or needing, you know, something. So yeah. And then my friend Bet, hey, thanks for joining, Bet from Arizona. She said the light is amazing. I agree. I use it for so many different things, not just the magnifying part, but also the light alone is really handy. If you've got areas at your sewing table that aren't lighted, it clamps to it, but the magnifier is just really a huge help in a lot of my sewing and other crafting projects as well. So does the light only plug into the machine or can it plug into an outlet? It actually has a USB on the end, Marianne, and the USB, you could plug into one of those wall outlets that has the USB, kind of like we do for our phone. So you certainly could plug it into a wall outlet, or it'll plug into a USB, which a lot of our embroidery machines do have a USB. So, which is really handy for a lot of different things. So, but how cute and how fun, right? And so really easy to create these little bags. So I'm going to show you how to assemble them too, and I'm going to show you how to do that collage fabric and what I did. So hey, my friend Stephanie's here, so she knows I love my Caesar HTV, and that's what I was using in my tree today. But also that is what's on this sparkly little bag here as well. So and so she said, ask me how to pick up a pile of spilled rhinestones. Yes. I can't tell you how many times I've spilt those, and then they get sucked up in the vacuum. I can't lie. So, really, really not the way I want to spend my crafting day is picking up a bunch of rhinestones. But I do have to say, if I just sprinkle some in the top of the little pill cap there, then if I knock this over, I don't have as many to pick up or to vacuum up, I guess that is. So, okay, so here's my my little bag. Now, this one is kind of the medium size. This fit in my 6x10 hoop. And to assemble it, it's really super super easy. So we are just going to apply some either glue or some adhesive web. That's what I did. And so Dime has a product called Fuse Me that we are actually going to use in just a bit for making our collage fabric. And that's actually what I did. I actually cut strips and applied that along the edge there to bond it together. So, and actually before we do that, let's see the collage and then I can move this out of the way. So let me show you what I did with this collage fabric. So what I do is I'll take a piece of that Fuse Me. So this is a piece of fusible web. Okay. It's got that paper backing. You guys are probably accustomed to seeing something like this. And you may already have some where you can fuse it to the back of your fabric. I'm just using Dime's Fuse Me brand. And so I take scraps. Look at these scraps. I mean, they're pretty small, right? And I just place them on a piece of this Fuse Me, just like that. And even if some hangs off, I don't mind because I'm just going to cut that away anyway, just like that. And then I just cover that with my pressing sheet. And then I'm going to fuse that. Okay. And so it's fusing my fabric to that fusible web. And then I've got my pressing sheet there because some of the areas between my fabric is going to stick to my pressing sheet. So you definitely don't want to put your iron directly on that. It'll stick to your iron. But in this case, your pressing sheet, you guys probably use a pressing sheet of some sort at home. And that pressing sheet, it doesn't even stick when you're using a fusible web. So I can fuse that and then I'm going to flip it over. Now that it's partially bonded, I can flip it and move it around. And I'm just pressing and moving along just to make sure that it's good and bonded. That's all I'm doing. Okay. And this is what I did to make the, you can see my little patchwork wreath there and the letter B that is on our other bag. So that patchwork, this is how I did that. Okay. And you can use your scraps like this for any applique. So because this is adhesive, that fusible web, you just let it dry. Okay. And then you can peel it off without it sticking. So, but I'm going to be, I'm not going to wait as long as I should. It still did pretty good. I see that it's a little bit stuck. So now that I've got that all bonded, what I do is I just take my scissors or your rotary cutter, and then I just cut these in pieces and then just cut up little pieces from that. So just like this, just like that. And you can see that that one is flipped over a little bit, but it's okay. I'll cut that off. We'll just do like that. So we're just making scraps. Now, here's a tip that I learned the hard way. So once I cut all these up, the next thing that you're doing, you're really just cutting a bunch of little odd shapes is how I did it. Now, you certainly could cut particular shapes out of this, but before you cut, I recommend peeling this paper off because the first time I did this, I peeled it after I cut all those little shapes. So I had to peel this paper off of like, 50 little shapes. So peel it off first so that you don't have to peel it off individually. So now that is fused onto the back. Let's see if we can see one. You can see it on this dark one. Okay. And so now I just cut like, strange shapes. Like they don't have to be anything particular. So I just cut all those just like that, just to make, some different shapes. Now, and of course, look how small I'm cutting these because look how small my applique is there on my wreath. So I just cut those up however small you want, whatever shape you want. This is actually just fun to cut like this and not have to follow a perfectly straight line or care if you cut it incorrectly. Okay, so just cut all your shapes. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the way. And then I just used my press mat to build the shape. So I just place these down. I just started with wherever you want to start. And then I just start, kind of like a puzzle. I'm just lining these pieces around. And I just tried to, mix and match my colors a little bit, fill in these holes. And when I would get a few, like you see here, then I just take my iron, and I don't overlap them a ton, but I take my iron and just touch it. Oh, here, let me slide that out of the way. You guys don't even see what I'm doing. So once I've put a pile of them, I just put a little bit of heat on it, and it'll hold them so that I can finish adding. So, and then I just, kind of build it in kind of this fashion. And I do this until I get it as large as I want for my applique, and you probably even know how big your applique is, or you can look in your software. And so I just pile a few, and then I can just use a little bit of heat to set those so that they don't slide around. Now, wouldn't this be cool if these were all cut like holly leaves? I didn't take it that step, but you could cut a bunch of shapes. This could be, what if you cut a bunch of somebody's initial and piled them up and made this? Wouldn't that be cute? So now I'm thinking of all kinds of ideas. Okay. So now once you've got this built to as big as you need it, then I usually press it a little bit longer. Now, this is not going to hold together really well because it's just overlapping just a little bit. And that's why we want some sort of stitch that stitches over top of it, almost like quilting. So we're going to fill that shape with a stitch so that it is going to make sure that our pieces don't come apart, after our applique is done. So this is just a cute, fun thing that you can do here with this. And then you let it cool. Okay. So I didn't get that piece very good, but you guys get the idea, right? So you're going to let it cool. And then once it's cooled, you have I've just got a little example here. It just peels off of your nonstick sheet. So, and you can see that one did not bond very well. So I could either go back and do it, or I could even just disregard it if it's long enough or large enough. And so then here's your fabric that you're going to use in your applique. So I just love that. I love patchwork. I love the look of it. And so I really just wanted something unique. And then two, I'm always looking for ways to use my scrap fabric. So just like you see here. So really easy. What do you guys think? Do you like that? I really had fun doing that, this little shape here. So, okay, so now let me slide this out of the way. I'm going to take this and try not to have to pick those up off the floor later. And then I'm going to switch places with my hooping station. I just was using my hooping station for my light because it attaches to it so that you could see that it was attached. So now I'm going to switch to my pressing station because the pressing station is going to help me with those boxed corners of the bag. So pressing station is the same idea as the hooping station, only these small plates, I can actually fit these bags over there for pressing. And then I've got my iron that's going to help me with that as well. Okay, so if we go back to our bag here. So let's do the assembly on this one so that you can see it. Okay, so now the first thing we want to do is we want to fuse some fusible web, or either you can use fabric glue. I was working with what I have on hand. You know what I mean? I like to, don't get me wrong, I love all kinds of fun new stuff, but I just cut strips of my Fuse Me, just like you could get, they make all kinds of fusible web out there. And then I can place that down right on that that overlapping and tear it off. So that's going to be what holds the other side together. And then I'm just going to take my iron and iron that. That has a paper backing, so I can iron, right on that. And then once I have bonded it, I can then peel off that paper. So in this case, I didn't have to necessarily use my sheet, my pressing sheet. Okay, so that's actually bonded on there. And so then I'm just going to fold that over onto the other side there. And now these wool press pads that I'm working on are really handy for this, especially when you're working with anything that has embroidery on it and that you are ironing. I can put my embroidery face down and it's going to protect my stitches. So I'm going to fuse this into place and I'm going to hold that. I'm going to do a little bit longer because I'm actually heating through 2 layers of fabric, but then also my heavy cutaway stabilizer. So I'm going to just bond that. Now, any kind of fusible web when you bond fusible web, until it cools, it's still kind of pliable. So be careful that you don't accidentally pull it apart. So like when it's still hot, you could put some, oh, and I did it anyway. You can put some clips here to hold that so that it cools. And then my clips, I'm looking for my pile here. There we go. And so until that cools, it's still pliable. Okay. And now the bottom of the box of the bag, okay, we're going to fold in these two ends here, just like that. And then fold this one over and over. And then same thing, you can glue there, or you can use a fusible web if you want. So fabric glue works great. You can also use a pressure sensitive tape. If you don't want to iron, you can use a pressure sensitive tape. But this is where the end of my pressing station comes into play. So you can see here, I can flip that up on its end and I can slide this over. And then I've got this surface here that I can actually press against. So just like that, I'm going to slide it over to one side, close that over. That's how we want to fuse. And then I can take my little strip here of the fusible web. And in fact, let me iron it on down here first. So, and move that out of the way. So take that, put that into place just like that, and fuse that in place. So really, really easy. I'm also going to just make these little edges really crisp while I'm down here also, just like that. So isn't that cute? Really fun and super easy to do. Now we're going to fold that over. Now I'm going to go back to the end of my pressing station here. Fold in and iron. This is hard to do. I'm I'm actually sitting lower than this, and so it's kind of hard for me to see. So normally I'm standing up when I'm doing it. Okay, so here I'm on the corner of this pressing station, and you can see that this one's a little wider than this bag, so the other bag fits on it nicely. And so I'm just right there at the corner, overlapping that so that I can then press against it. So just hold that there. And the same thing, like you can put some clips in the corners to hold that, to make sure that it's going to bond. And then you're all ready to go. And then I'm going to move over a little bit. I'm really close to the camera there, but I'm ironing. There you go. So the end of this hooping station is really helpful, not just for these bags, but anytime you're doing like in the hoop or any kind of bag making, it's really easy to be able to fuse that or press to get that perfect end. So now I just need to hold that. My side is bonded, so I pulled those clips off here. Oh my gosh. I feel like a hot mess under here. So you can see that those are bonded, but because this is still hot, I'll just put some clips there. Now, if you're using like a fabric glue, it is usually that's like pretty quick to set. And so you can put the clips there just for a couple of minutes and then it'll hold that. But how adorable is that, right? And so, and all these different things that you can do. Again, add crystals. You can use your HTV if you want, and also make them larger to make larger items there. So really cute and fun little projects. So let's see if we have any questions or comments. And then I actually have some items that I love here from Dime that I'm going to share with you that will fit in these little gift bags. So you can give them as a little gift to your sewing bestie if you want. So Donna says, what was the heavy bag stabilizer? So it's not a bag stabilizer, Donna. It's actually just your regular embroidery stabilizer, but it was a heavy cutaway. And the reason I used it is because it's very stiff, and it basically made my bag stand up. It was something that I had on hand already, and it was perfect for between my 2 layers of my quilting cotton as well. So yeah, it's just a heavyweight cutaway stabilizer. So Chris Kavanaugh says a friend of mine is going to Puerto Rico in March to help with building homes. So cool. I'm assuming maybe they were in response to somebody else's question there. I need a small craft iron. What do you use? So this is actually just a steam fast iron, I think it is. I got this from my local Joann's, I think it was. That really small iron is perfect when you're doing small projects, so that you can actually work around it. So that's a really good thing to have on hand. Who would have thought that different size irons would make such a difference? So I love that. And then, oh my gosh, Stephanie has a great tip here. If you spill your rhinestones, she says, put a pantyhose over the vacuum hose, and that's how you can pick up a bunch of those rhinestones at one time. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie. I really appreciate that. So, and then Joanne Bako says the dime fuse me is fabulous. Yes, it's a whole roll of a fusible stabilizer. So I use it to put on the back of my applique. And I used it, in this case here, it's an easy way to bond my pieces together as well. And Judy Quilt says, oh, I need to try the dime fuse me. Yes, you do. So grab it. And it has lots of uses. I think it's really lightweight. So it doesn't add a lot of bulk. So I really love it for appliques because it doesn't make the fabric super stiff. So really great product. So. And then Marianne says, oh, cute holly leaves on the scanning cut. Yes, you could use your digital cutter, and your collage could be a bunch of shapes, whether it's holly leaves, whether it is, a letter or another shape that you could all fuse together as well. So really fun. I can think of so many things you could put on here. Again, I just needed something quick and easy, small little gifts to put little small fun items in. So, okay. So now let me share with you some of my favorite dime things that would fit really well in these little gift bags here. Well, first and foremost, the magnifier lamp that we just saw, I think is a really great item for anybody that does any kind of sewing, crafting, or anything. So now this one won't fit in the bags, but the Perfect Vision magnifier lamp is our item today that's sponsoring this Between the Friends. And so it is an awesome tool to have, whether you sew, embroider, if you do needlework, if you do cross stitch, really anything that you need to take a closer look, or you need the extra light. You don't have to always use the magnification. You could just have the light near your machine if you need more light next to your sewing machine. So the Perfect Vision magnifier lamp is definitely on the top of my list for a favorite product, and it is on special today for this presentation. So don't forget to get yours. And also it would be a good gift to yourself, right? So that's one of my favorite. So another item that I really love, and these are things that would fit in your gift bags. You guys know our King Star metallic thread is the best metallic thread on the market. It does not kink like normal metallic thread. You can run it at top speeds. You can use this for sewing, quilting. I even put it in my serger. So this spool of thread, I mean, what embroidery lover would not like to get one of these cute little bags here with a spool of thread in there? And you could put like some little goodies as well, some little sweet treats maybe. But the thread does fit into this medium-sized bag. And then now I just used these little mini clothespins. You could do this. I could even put in this one, I did an eyelet and I just tied the ribbon around it. But give your bestie a spool of our King Star thread. If she hasn't tried it yet, whether she's a sewer, a quilter, or an embroiderer, you can use it in all of those instances. Or even if you like to do decorative serging, it's beautiful in your serger. So that I would definitely say is one of my favorites that would fit into these bags here. Also, those rhinestones. Look at that. So they come in this cute little bundle like this. That would fit nicely into one of these bags if you just folded it in half and tucked it in. Um, those rhinestone assortments. So again, you do not have to be an embroiderer. Maybe it's just a friend that likes to do crafting, and you can add these rhinestones to anything. So your knitted product projects, your sewing projects, your embroidery projects. So I love the rhinestones for embellishment. Also USB stick. Dime has these cute little dress form USB sticks. They're 2 gigs, so they work really well with the machine, and they're cute for your little sewing friend, that little novelty item there. And they tuck really well into one of these little bags with some additional treats. Also needles. So you guys know how important your needle is for your embroidery project. So if you've got some embroidery friends that haven't ever tried a sharp point embroidery needle, I would definitely get them a pack of the sharp point. As you guys know, and you've heard us say a ton, that sharp point embroidery needles can help if you are having a puckering issue on a tightly woven fabric. So if your embroidery bestie does not have some sharp point embroidery needles, snag her a package of those, tuck that into one of these little gift bags. And you know what? Also get her one of these. Oh, I just dropped mine. Also get her a needle inserter to put those in her machine. So, oh my, here we go. So this little needle inserters has a little hole on this end over here. You can see that. And it gives you a larger handle for inserting your needle in and out of your embroidery or sewing machine. And it's got a flat back so that your needle is in the right orientation when you're putting it in. So this is a really inexpensive item, and it's great for just as a stocking stuffer, or like I said, put it in that gift bag with some of those needles. So another really great option. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is take a look at this. So have you guys seen our vinyl applique kits? So this is the latest called Winter Whimsy. And the Winter Whimsy is a 4 sheets of HTV, and I actually use the red and the green from this collection in these two here, the red on the bag and the green on the tree. It also has matching thread, and it comes with a free design. So if you got this for your bestie, she has a kit, and all she has to do is add her machine and her hoop, and she's ready to stitch. So that's another really good product as well. But what did you guys think about these bags? I just love those. So lots of fun. Dime, like I said, has tons of stuff that would work well for in those little bags there. And as I mentioned, the Perfect Vision magnifying lamp is our item that's sponsoring this presentation today. So it is on a special price. And so make sure that you get that while it is available. It's great, like I said, not just sewing, embroidery. It really can be used for a ton of different projects. So, okay. So what did you guys think? So pretty little bags, right? And easy and quick, so that you can get that stitched for the holidays. So, and then Shy's Crafty Adventure said she's missed most of this. Where do I get the file for the bag? So the file for the bag is our Stitch Swag. The Stitch Swag, let me show you here. I'll flip. Whoops. I actually have it on a different screen. So the Stitch Swag over on Dime's website. So if you go to our dzgns.com, if you click on this ad here that says on the house, it takes you to this page, which actually has all of the products that I was talking about today, and the ones that I think are fantastic for gifts. So the magnifying lamp, and you can view product and add it right to your shopping cart. I use the Stitch Swag. I use the HTV from the Winter Whimsy, my pressing station, my wool press mats, those rhinestones, the assortments, and the Aurora Borealis, which is kind of an iridescent. And then I also use this fabric spray from the fabric stabilizer from Sullivan's. In fact, let me show you under the camera here what it looks like when you use this on your fabric. So here's a piece of my quilting cotton that is not been sprayed in any way. And this, you can see that it stands out on its own, was treated with this fabric spray from Sullivan. So it's a spray-in stabilizer. So it makes your fabric very crisp. And so I used this to stiffen the fabric that I put on the outside of my bags. Now, it's not 100% necessary, but I just really wanted to make sure that it was nice and crisp. So that was the Sullivan's fabric stabilizer. And you can see if I just hold the corner here of each one, this one is stiffened, and this one has no treatment whatsoever. So love that Sullivan. So if you head over to DZGNS, all of the items that I talked about are there in one place, or you could simply search our site as well. Now, the Perfect Vision magnifier lamp is something that you could also find probably at your local dealer if you want. So check with your local dime dealer. We have select dealers that have signed up for our elite program, and they actually receive any new product first because they know that you guys want it first as well. So take a look at this video for a elite dealer in your area. So that list is always growing. And so if you have a local dealer in your area, go in and ask them about what's new with Dime. Now, I see that Susie mentioned that she never can find the download. So if you're looking for the on the house download for Dime, you can come to our page here, and under the designs and projects, there is a link for free design. So if that's what you're referring to, Susie, on our website under the designs and products, when you click on free designs, it'll take you right to the correct place that has all of our free on the house designs, which is the perfect segue, because if you do not know what on the house is, each week we give away, or we announce, everybody can have it, a free design. We call it our on the house design. And we would love it if you shared your products or your projects made with your Dime on the house designs at Dime Sew Along, hashtag Dime Sew Along, hashtag on the house, or hashtag exquisite thread. So this week we have a really fun design that is perfect for the winter. Look at that gorgeous design. So that beautiful winter birdhouse with those cardinals and the holly. So that is your free design for this week. So make sure that you head over to the site and you download it from dzgns.com. Click on that first link for the designs and projects, and it's listed there under the free designs. But make sure you do post and share your projects with us. Now, if you like today's presentation, you want to make sure that you like us on Facebook, follow us, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's how you're going to be notified anytime that we go live, but also other fun videos and specials that we have are posted there. So if you're unsure how to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook, so take a look at this video of how to do that.
In this video, we'll show you how to subscribe to a YouTube channel and follow a Facebook page through your phone. Let's start with YouTube. First, open your YouTube app on your phone. Once you're on your home page, search for the designs in machine embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. Click on it and go to the channel page. Once on the channel page, click the subscribe button, and that's it. You're now subscribed to the channel. Now let's move on to Facebook. First, open your Facebook app. Once on your home page, search for designs in machine embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. Once on the profile page, click the three dots and select the follow button. And that's it. You're now following the page. Thanks for watching.
So make sure you do that so you're notified of all of our lives that we do. We have one on software the first and the third Tuesday of every month, but we also have every single week here on Thursday. And you're here in the right place now on Between Friends. So next week on Between Friends, Eileen will be back with you. And I know that she always has something fun and exciting planned for you. So make sure that you see her next week. And I'm going to say until I see you next time on live with Between Friends or Software Success, I'll say thank you all for being here, and I will see you next time.